Hello, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are diving into how to secure your Copilot Studio agents using data loss prevention policies. Let's get started. So going to Microsoft documentation, learn.microsoft.com, then Microsoft Studio DLP example 3. So Microsoft has given some guidance or recommendations how to what policies to configure. So configure data loss prevention policies for your agents. So they have given some examples of DLP policy configuration. So in this video, I'm going to show you require user authentication in agents. So these are the steps that Microsoft has given to create a policy for DLP policy. So let's get into the demo. So first, we will see without the policy what happens, and with policy then what happens. So create a new agent. So I'm sure like you understand the Copilot Studio, how to sign up and then how to log in. You can watch my previous videos. So in this case, I assume that like the Copilot Studio login, then you got account, you got the environment, then you're ready to create a new agent. So click on new agent. Then I'm going to in this case like I'm going with skip to configure. Not using that. I'm just using the DLP test agent 1. Right, then create. So I'm not using any other sources or at this point of time, just created the empty agent. So by default, still provisioning it. So go to settings, then click on security, then authentication. Now you can see you can choose no authentication option and then click save, which means that this is publicly available. Whoever is having this link, then it is publicly available. So go to publishing, then publish. So now click on these 3 dots. Now you can see, go to demo site. So the agent is available to anyone. So whoever is having this link, so I go to H, then new private window. So see here, without any authentication, the agent is responding. But at this point of time, there is no knowledge source is associated. Therefore, probably I can ask who is the Prime Minister of so this is not up to date. It's not only up to the behind the scenes. The large language model is updated only last 2023. So therefore, like as of October 2023, it knows only it is a Rishi Sunak. Now you understood how the demo site is being configured without any authentication. So in production environment, this is a big risk. So you don't want to authenticate. You don't want to you don't want to enable this no authentication option. So first of all, why enforce authentication via data loss prevention policy? So what does it do basically? It prevents the unauthorized access to the sensitive data, stop accidental data leakage from unauthenticated agents, ensure every iteration is tied to a verified user. So these are the main reasons that I can say to enforce authentication via DLP. So now, as you know, Copilot Studio is previously called as Power Virtual Agents. It is it is a product from Power Platform. So Power Platform has Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, then Power Virtual Agent. So because now Microsoft changed this one to Copilot Studio, but it's still come under the Power Platform. So to configure the DLP settings, I'm going to the admin.powerplatform.microsoft.com. Then in the home page, now you can see this is some new admin center. Then click security, data and privacy, then data policy. So now you can see there are no policies available. So I'm going to use this example, configure a policy to require user authentication in agents. So you must use either one of these. Okay. So then we want to disable this feature. So first go to the new policy. Then what are the best practices for creating the DLPs? The first one is name the policies clearly. Then scope policies by environment, like production, then dev, then test, like that environment. Then regularly check check enforcement and violations. So make sure these policies are being applied, maybe monthly check or maybe quarterly check or a 6-month check, like that. So in this case, maybe I wanted to use like a 01, then DLP, then Copilot Studio agent, and then auth required, or authentication underscore required. So something like that. You can use your policy if you want to keep your environment, like if it is D means a dev or P means production, use it like the standard. So click next. So there are connectors here. Now you can see there's a business connector, non-business, and blocked. So please go through the documentation. What is the purpose of business and non-business and blocked? But in this case, we are going to block. Look for Copilot or chat conversation. So chat without Microsoft Enter ID authentication Copilot Studio. Now you can see this is name of the policy. So this is the name of the connector. Then this is blockable, and this is a built-in class from Microsoft. So this is the one we are going to use it. Then click on those 3 dots, then click block. So configure connector, there is no option here to create the endpoint preview. You can see connector actions in case if there are any actions here. So in this case, we are going to click click block. Now you can see this policy is moved to the blocked category: business, non-business, and block. By default, everything is be in the non-business. So click next. Then at this point of time, I'm not using any pattern. Just click next. Whether you want to apply this setting, this scope for every environment or multiple environments, or include certain environments. So I'm going to use add multiple environments. So I'm going to use my agent test, then add to policy, then click next. So you can see here added to the policy and one policy. Click next. So here you can see the policy name. You can see 0 business and non-business, and one is a blocked. Then the pattern is a default pattern. Then the scope is added to the multiple environments, but we added only one environment, and which is a AG test in our case. Then create policy. So now if I go back to the channel, if I go back to here, then I'm going to create another agent. Skip to configure DLP agent test agent 2. And create. So if I go to the settings, so you can see this feature isn't available until your agent is finishing setup. So you have to wait for agent to be provisioned. So therefore, like you still see these are the grayed out. It's nothing to do with the DLP policy. So wait for the agent to be provisioned. So now click on authentication. So now you can see this option is now grayed out. This is instantaneous. So no authentication service provider generic OAuth 2 available due to change in our organization data loss prevention policy. Contact our admin for questions. So if you choose authentication manually, so you cannot switch on and off this, toggle this button, require users sign in. So it's always required users sign in. So now so the previous one, so if I go back to the agents, so you have seen the previous one with no authentication, whereas this one you cannot choose the authentication to no authentication at all. So therefore you have to choose one of them, the authenticate with Microsoft. Now going back to the DLP agent 1, then go to settings, then go to security. So now you can see there is a red banner here. No authentication service for generic OAuth aren't available. Changes due to the organization data prevention policy. So one error, preventing your agent from being published. One error may be preventing your agent from being working as intended. So this is what it is saying. So one error or one risk, then you can download this report, then see so you can see so this is a policy name that is blocking. So this is how you can troubleshoot it. So this is a Copilot authentication, this is a policy name, and this is one it is blocking. Sorry, my mouse is playing. So I hope you understood how to implement data loss prevention policy for Copilot agents, Copilot Studio agents that requires user authentication. If you like my content, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching this video.